listen not to what she's saying, but listen to how they interrupt and the words they use.
It's released in the months leading up to the November 2016 election. Concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election.
Doesn't matter.
On December 5th.
We've been listening there to the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, continuing on what has now been a multi-day effort, not only with public statements like this, but release of documents to attempt to back up extreme allegations.
In the attempt to give these extreme allegations, how do you not understand that is dipping in your mind and telling you what to think before you even have a moment to digest the situation? That is no different than I walk in and go, this person is attempting to give these outrageous allegations, and if you can't stand this person or you can't stand the other news, you're already all in. If I'm a liberal, I'm like, yeah, it's crazy allegations. It's just insane. That is called brainwashing, and if you're falling for it, you're being brainwashed. Listen to the words they use to manipulate your thoughts.
Some sort of conspiracy.
Conspiracy!
By the intelligence community at the time that Russia interfered in the 2016 election.
Multiple intelligence.
Listen again to the words they use. Are you ready? This is mind control. Right now, someone's going, you need to interrupt the program. They're not reporters. CNN is not reporters. None of these news networks are reporting. They're telling you what to think.
That's real. I wonder, and this was the first thing I thought when I saw this, was like, I wonder what he thinks about Trump and the Trump movement, Trump and MAGA. Because he said, CNN, fake news. It's fake news, people. Well, that implies that there's real news then out there, right? If there's fake news, that means that there's real news out there. That's a manipulation tactic too. CNN, MSNBC, they're fake news. What's the real news then? Oh, the real news is what is saying that Trump is a good person. That's another form of propaganda. You always have to, you got to think about that too. He can do no wrong. Trump is not a god. And I would like to see people, there's people I see online constantly who are like, fake news, it's against Trump, it's fake news, everybody. And don't get me wrong, they dug their own grave by reporting on every little effing thing he did in the most egregious way. I'm not saying that that wasn't the case, but we have to be ready for this administration, the reporting of the news in this administration. You can't just be like, well, they're pro-Trump, so therefore they are the news. Nuh-uh. I'm not falling for that shit because it's all propaganda and it's all brainwashing. And in fact, my coworker and he's brought this up a few times where Steve Bannon said, we're going to flood the zone with shit. That it's not about trying to look proper and look correct and look right. The enemy is not the Democrats. It's who's reporting on us. And if we clog up the lane enough, they'll have nothing really to report on because we will control it. So even the stuff that they are reporting on, even the spins they give, the news itself is bullshit. This was from 2020. So this was after his first term. But I think this playbook they have adopted for this administration. The issue for many people isn't a denial of truth as such. It's more a growing weariness over the process of finding the truth at all. And that weariness leads more and more people to abandon the idea that truth is knowable. I call this manufactured because it's a consequence of a deliberate strategy. It was distilled almost perfectly by Steve Bannon, the former head of Breitbart News and chief strategist for Donald Trump. The Democrats don't matter, Bannon reportedly said in 2018. The real opposition is the media. And the way to deal with them is to flood the zone with shit. I had this realization very early on in this administration. I was like, what are they doing? Like, not every week there's something happening. And then originally, at first, it's like, wow, this is crazy. This is insane. This administration's nuts, man. This is such good content. Exciting. Wow. But after a while, you realize you're like, what is actually happening? What is actually going on? I think we're finding out it's pro-Israel, it's pro-AI, and it's anti-American people when we're finding out. Whoa, what is Doge again? Oh, wait, you're doing what with Doge? Oh, fraud and abuse? Oh, no, you're actually implementing an AI governance system. Oh, it's going to harvest our data. Oh, wait, you're building a wall, right? Oh, no, wait, you have to give billions and billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars to Palmer Luckey? Nandoril? Oh, I thought you could just like put up like steel bars or something. No, we can't do that. We got to put up AI facial recognition. And I foresee in the future, we're going to have to put these in our cities as well because we can't let the illegals be here. Meanwhile, Trump's rolling back his promises of getting rid of illegals when he said, well, some of them can stay, right? The farmers can stay. It's like, okay. So wait, what are we getting actually here? What are we doing? This idea isn't new, but Bannon articulated it's about as well as anyone can. The press ideally should sift fact from fiction and give the public the information it needs to make enlightened political choices. If you short circuit that process by saturating the ecosystem with misinformation and overwhelm the media's ability to mediate, then you can disrupt the democratic process. What we're facing is a new form of propaganda that wasn't really possible until the digital age. And it works not by creating a consensus around any particular narrative, but by muddying the waters so that consensus isn't achievable. And what are people going to? What are they going to find consensus? Anybody? Any takers? I've only said it like 50 times. They go to fucking Grok. They go to Grok, is this real? ChatGPT, is this real? And all these people are in bed with the Trump administration. Hello? Flood the zone with shit. The tiffs that Trump and Elon had. Trump and Elon, oh my gosh, they're mad at each other, they're at each other's throats. Then you find out during that tiff in June, Elon donated $5 million to Trump's super PAC. You go, wait a minute, I thought that was a real thing that was happening. No, it's a show. It's a show, people. They're just telling you what they're saying, but what they're saying is fake bullshit. And they've aligned with all these people to be able to manufacture the stuff behind closed doors so that you think one thing's happening because the media is reporting on it, but really that's not what's happening. Something else is happening. Look, it's literally magician. It's like magic. It's like a magician. Look here while I'm doing something over here. It's smart. I'm not saying it's not smart, but it's all, you know what? It almost like totally neutralizes propaganda because this is like the end of propaganda. We don't even need to tell people what to think anymore. And that's one of the things I thought about X was that Elon freeing up X is not to allow people to have the First Amendment. That's the justification. I want the First Amendment. I want people to be able to speak freely, not be banned. What that is it's opening up so they can flood the zone with shit. And they can constantly have you going, wait, what's actually going on here? Real news is what you see IRL. Absolutely. And that was another thing too. Jay Dyer just posted a tweet recently. He said, as AI floods the internet with slop and dead internet theory becomes reality, we will have to return to reading books to get accurate information. True. I think that's true. You're going to have to go outside of the internet. You're going to have to talk to people in real life, and you're going to have to read books. That's just what it is. Because this is, and I said this on the stream with Dick not too long ago, was like, will it get to a point where the internet is just so much slop that people just say, it's all crap. It's all just a bunch of bullshit. I can't trust any of it. And then where will people go? Well, I think people will probably go to the church, and they'll go back into reading. I'm hoping. Or people will just die. Or humanity will just die. I don't really know. For most of recent history, the goal of propaganda was to reinforce a consistent narrative. Weapons of mass destruction. But zone flooding takes a different approach. It seeks to disorient audiences with an avalanche of competing stories. And it produces a certain nihilism in which people are so skeptical about the possibility of finding the truth that they give up altogether. They give up the search. The fact that 60% of Americans say they encounter conflicting reports about the same event is an example of what I mean. In the face of such confusion, it's not surprising that less than half the country trusts what they read in the press. We're all speaking different languages. We have no basis to say, we have no referent to say, that doesn't comport with what this says. And this we know is to be true. That's gone. It's scary stuff, man. This is scary stuff. And I suspect, and I I thought I should do this. I'm going to invest. I should invest in schizophrenia medication because I actually think schizophrenia, not even joking, I think it's going to be on the rise because of this. People are going to have their brains are going to be completely split because I can feel it in my own brain where he's just like, what is even happening? Probably be big return on investments with schizophrenia medication.